how is it that this local plumber with a single location is completely dominating for their main search term against some huge competitors? I just stumbled upon this Vegas Valley Plumbing, and I couldn't believe how high they're ranking considering they're a tiny single location shop. And so I started digging in. I have no affiliation with this business. I just stumbled upon it as I was doing some research. I've been doing SEO for 15 years, and I thought it'd be fun to take a look at how this plumber is defying the odds and ranking for a keyword they have no business ranking for at a time where Google really prioritizes big trusted brands. So let's dig into the data. One of the first things I noticed was that they only recently started ranking really well. So you can see this yellow line right here. That's them shooting up in ranking right around, when is this? The end of September. They were just nowhere to be found, and then suddenly they're ranking huge. So what happened around then? Well, as I dug into their ranking a little bit further, you see this blue line really correlates with this orange line showing their organic traffic. That blue line is referring domains, in other words, backlinks. And if you know anything about SEO, you know the backlinks are one of many factors Google uses to rank websites. These are just other websites, including a link to this person's website. So let's dig into these backlinks and see if they're really working the magic. Problem is, when we start looking through the backlinks, there is no magic. None of these links are all that valuable. Because the thing is, Google will ignore low quality links. In other words, if the website linking to this website is low quality, Google's not ranking them, Google doesn't trust them, then the link doesn't do anything. Google only cares about links that are relevant from high quality websites, and there's not a lot of that here. They have two links in particular that might be doing some good: expertise and top rated local. Both of these websites can rank, although recently not as well as they used to. The problem is both of these websites let you buy your position on their website. Now, they still have a vetting process where they do their own ranking, but to get considered, you have to pay them. And so they've managed to get pretty high up. In fact, they're the top rated local home service business on topratedlocal.com. And so that might be carrying some weight. But it doesn't explain alone how they would completely dominate for their area. I do want to mention that the number one ranked website for Las Vegas Plumber is reddit.com. It's actually this thread here on recommendations on a good plumber in Las Vegas. This is not surprising. Reddit has been dominating search ever since the end of 2023, and especially when people are looking for recommendations, Reddit does really well. They actually have 2 of the top 10 rankings for this term, which is rare for such a transactional term. But one of the first things I did was scan through here to figure out if Vegas Valley was maybe recommended in this Reddit thread. They're not. Some of their competitors are that are not outranking them, but Vegas Valley is not. Let's take a quick look for the search results for Plumber Las Vegas. You'll see right at the top, as is true for most searchers these days, you're going to get sponsored results. You get 2 local service ads, search ads, and then sometimes when I perform the search, I'd even get some local pack ads. But this time, here we're finally seeing some organic ranking. And then we'll see the text links here. Yelp, Reddit, commonly rank really high for these terms. Larkin and Anytime are huge businesses. Angie's List is huge, and then Vegas Plumbing right here. So you might be saying, wait, you said Vegas Plumbing was dominating. They're way down here. They weren't in the local pack. That's true. But in their area, they are dominating Google Maps. And this is more impressive than you might think for a little shop. It's very rare these days for a small shop to be outranking big competitors. And you don't see Gettle on here. You don't see Bumblebreeze, Sierra Cool. A lot of these big companies have to buy ads just to rank on page 1, and this little shop is outranking them. So let's dig in deeper and figure out how they're doing it. Before we dig into their website, I actually want to show something that I think is probably more important for this term. That's their Google Business Profile. So this is how they're showing up in Google Maps. And while their website does help them rank in Google Maps, as do links, this Google Business Profile is the first place we typically look. And one obvious reason that they're ranking well for Plumber Las Vegas is because their name is Vegas Valley Plumbing. Now, this doesn't matter as much as it used to, but having your main search terms in your business name in Google Maps does help a lot. And this is legitimately their name. Other people have to force keywords into their name. For example, Gettle named themselves Gettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing Reno. That's not their business name. They're breaking Google's terms of service. Google's probably not going to do anything about it, but Vegas Valley doesn't have to do that. And because of this, every time they're mentioned online, their keywords are also mentioned, and that does help. Now, it doesn't help as much as it used to, but that is relevant. Another thing that I noticed was their services here. This will show you what category they're listed under, and plumber is the correct category. But then also they can list a lot of services here for other keywords they want to show up for. And it's good to do this, and they've done it well. I don't know if it's helping because they're not getting much traffic for any of these keywords, but it is a good practice. The one thing that stands out is they're only in one category. Now, this is not typically best practice. Typically, you get one main category, you get up to 9 additional categories, and you want to use them all. However, there is some research that shows that if you have fewer categories, then you get more benefit for that one category you are in. You'll see most of their competitors are in a lot of categories. They're only in plumber. And if we look at their keywords, we can see that they're really just ranking well for terms like plumber Las Vegas and Las Vegas plumbing companies. We're not getting anything for drain cleaning. We're not getting anything for hot water heater repair. None of these sub keywords that most of the competitors are going for, they're ranking well for. They're just doing really well with their main keyword. And I think that has a lot to do with them only being in one category. So how about their website? Well, the short version is that they're following SEO best practices. So they have plumber in Las Vegas right there in their H1, which is very important. It's also in their meta title, which you can't see on the page, but Google looks at when they're ranking pages. They have social proof here. They have a bunch of awards they've won, as well as 20 years experience. Now, SEOs will debate if Google actually looks at this when they're ranking websites, but even if they don't, it's good to have on here. It's good to have a video background, even though it's probably not helping with ranking. I love this watch our video button until I realized that the video is broken. But they have been making videos, and they also take images of their technicians and their work, and they use that throughout the website. For example, if we go to their blog, all the featured images on their blog are pictures of the actual technicians. Again, this is something that SEOs will debate whether or not it actually helps with ranking. There's evidence both ways, but it does look nice. Their hero section has some clear calls to action, although I would recommend using an accent color there so it stands out a little bit more. Also, while they do have a prominent phone number at the top of the page, that's the only prominent phone number on the page. And I think that's a big missed opportunity. While they do have a lot of calls to action buttons that should be in an accent color, and they do have a form on the page, some people prefer to call. And they should never have to go searching through your website trying to find that phone number to call you. Now, this has nothing to do with ranking. It's just conversion rate optimization. But you shouldn't have to look through these little texts to try to find a phone number, which is for some reason different than their main phone number at the top. It should just always be very clear on the page. They also have some prominent testimonials on the page, which again, SEOs will debate if that helps with ranking, but it's good to have. Social proof. Another thing they're doing well that really helps right now are these areas we serve pages. These are good to have. It gives Google the confidence to know which areas you serve. So if people are searching from those areas or about those areas, you're much more likely to rank. These pages do really well right now. It's the number one thing we do for our clients after we finish their main pages. So they have one for every major area in Las Vegas. This could be part of what's helping them rank locally so well. Each of these pages is just essentially going to be a copy of your homepage, but optimized for a specific city, town, or neighborhood. It's going to talk about all your main services. It's going to talk about your business. It's going to show contact information, preferably a map, but all these pages have been done pretty well, and they're not duplicates of each other, right? It's not the exact same page with just the city name or neighborhood swapped out. They've actually written different content, and with AI these days, it's really easy to just rewrite the content. They also seem to have a page for each service they offer, but it's going to be a lot harder to rank for these other services because their name and their category in Google Maps is plumbing. So they're getting a huge benefit there that they're not getting for these other services. And then coming back to their blog, we do recommend creating blog content. Once all your other pages are beautiful and ranking well, blog content can really help bringing people in while they're in that research phase, and it can help lend some authority to your other main pages. However, looking at their blog content, it's not the best. It's super short. It's really generic. It's not helpful. I doubt their blog content is helping them at all. I think actually they might even do better if they removed it. This is definitely not why they're ranking so well. One other thing I like to look at when doing these audits is their business name minus their site. So this will just search for anything where their business name is used exactly, but it won't show their website. And this is how we can see what other websites are mentioning them online. We can see Yelp. We'll look at their Instagram and Facebook in a second, but you can see they're making a lot of video, social content. Their reviews on Yelp, Angie's List, House Next Door, they have good reviews pretty much everywhere. So I think that has a lot to do with how they're ranking so well. Your reviews on Google Maps are going to help the most, but Google's also going to look at how you're ranking on all these other platforms and how your reviews are there. So having just a good reputation online, which they definitely have, has a lot to do with how they're ranking. Now, if we look at their social media channels, let's start with YouTube. We can see they're not doing great, but they have posted a lot of videos in the past. This one has 12,000 views, and I think it had 1 thumbs up. So I'm guessing they bought those views, which isn't great. But having anything on YouTube is better than having nothing. They're also pretty active on Facebook. You can see they've been doing some reels. They post fairly frequently, if I remember correctly, and same on Instagram. So they might not be dominating social, but they have a presence here, and they post a lot of videos, which are far more effective than text or image posts these days. And as you can see, they're getting around 5,000 views per video, which is really good for a local business. And Google, as well as large language models, are looking more and more at video content when they're training their AIs. So this is why we're pushing all of our clients right now to really start creating videos. All right, so after looking through all of that, how is Vegas Valley Plumbing dominating local search? They're not doing amazing at anything, but they're doing pretty good at everything. And that's the lesson to be learned here, I think. If you're already beating one of your competitors on a specific factor, say you have better content than them, making your content even better isn't going to help. If you already have a 4.8 rating with 500 reviews, getting another 500 reviews isn't going to help that much. And if you're doing really well with all these factors, except you're failing on one, let's say you don't have any links going to your website, and then you fix that one, then you can suddenly see a sharp spike up in traffic. This is a perfect case study showing that you can't dominate Google search by just doing really well at one thing. But if you take a holistic approach and you make sure that you're doing well in every factor, you will beat all your competitors who forgot about just one of those factors. This is a new series I've started, so if you'd like me to look at your website or one of your competitors' website and you don't mind me making a YouTube video about it, let me know. I'm taking requests. Just go ahead and leave a comment below. I promise I'll respond to everyone. Thanks.